Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope your weekend is going great. Hope you had fun, got a lot of stuff done. Hope the weather's good where you are. The weather here in Southeast Texas has been crazy this week. Week ago, freezing temperatures, snowing, warms up, 60s yesterday, 60s today. Now storming, and it's going to be raining all next week. I don't know. We got bipolar weather here in Southeast Texas. Hope it's better where you are. Anyway, we're going to go back over some things that happened these last few days in college basketball. Got a few news items, not really that much as we have been having, just a few this time, but oh well. Hit that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything. Let's get started. Notre Dame defensive coordinator Al Golden, he is leaving Notre Dame, going to be the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. All right. Same time, cornerback Benjamin Morrison for the Irish enters the NFL draft. Ohio State running back Quinshaw Judkins, he also is going to enter the NFL draft. South Carolina, they give Shane Beamer a new contract. They like what he's doing there. $8.15 million a year with a $100,000 raise annually. Wouldn't you love to have a $100,000 raise every year? Yeah, me too. Ohio State quarterback or cornerback Davison Ligbonson? Probably butchering his name. Ligbonson? Anyway, says he's coming back next season, so he'll be back to that Ohio State defense. All right, so let's go over some things that happened these last few days. Going back to Wednesday, number 7 Houston got its 11th straight win. They beat Utah 70-36. Northwestern, they moved to 12-7, beat 14-6 Indiana by 9. 10-10 Mercer, trying to break that 500. They beat 12-8 UNC Greensboro by 1. 9-12 Oakland beat 14-7 Purdue Fort Wayne by 4. 9-11 UMass beat 13-6 George Washington 74-61. Number 12 Kansas, they beat TCU 74-61. 5 Jayhawk players double-digit points in that game. Number 5 Florida, they were down by 14 in the second half, came back and beat South Carolina by 1, by the hair on their chinny chin chin. 12-7 Colorado State beat 13-7 Boise State by 3. 10-9 Cal beat 13-6 Florida State 77-68. Cal had 18 points off our Seminole turnovers. 12-7 Arkansas, they were down 15 points, but came back and beat Georgia by 3. Number 13 Texas A&M beat number 16 Ole Miss by 1. A&M's Obasaki, three-pointer with 13 seconds left. Moving on to some things that happened Thursday. Maine, they moved to 13-8, beat 13-7 UMass Lowell by 1 in overtime. Sanford moved to 16-4. They beat 12-8 Chattanooga 73-69. Is that what it says? 69? I think it's 69. Anyway, Chattanooga was down at halftime. Was up 11 at halftime. I'm sorry, they were up 11 at halftime. Ended up losing. 10-10 North Florida beat 12-8 Queens 90-81. 12-9 Nebraska Omaha beat 15-6 St. Thomas Minnesota by 11. 15-5 Maryland beat number 17 Illinois 91-70. Maryland scored 27 points off of turnovers in that one. 12-7 Jacksonville State beat 14-5 UTEP 73-66. 12-8 UC Davis beat 12-7 Hawaii by 2. 9-11 Idaho beat 14-6 Northern Colorado by 1. Idaho's Mitchell, he hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to win that one. St. Mary's, they moved to 17-3, beat 16-6 San Francisco by 20. St. Mary's shot 62% from the field. 12-8 UC Riverside beat 17-3 UC Irvine by 4 in overtime. 14-7 Santa Clara beat 15-6 Washington State 93-65. Santa Clara hit 13 three-pointers and had 28 points off of turnovers in that one. Moving on to Friday, 11-8 11-8 Ohio Bobcats beat 12-7 Kent State by 2. Number 10 Marquette beat 12-9 Villanova 87-74. Number 11 Purdue beat number 21 Michigan 91-64. Purdue, 55% from the field, 29 points off of turnovers. Michigan only shot 37% from the field in that game. Iowa beat Penn State by 1. Both of them moved to 13-7. And 16-4 VCU beat 15-6 St. Bonaventure 75-61. St. Bonaventure led that game by 18 at the half, but ended up losing it. All right, yesterday, a lot of crazy things happened yesterday. A lot of good games too. SMU cruised through the ACC in football season. Seem to be doing that in the basketball season. They're 15-5 now. They beat North Carolina State 63-57. Syracuse, man, I don't know what happened to them. They keep falling. They lost to Pitt yesterday by 4. 10-10 Providence beat 13-7 Georgetown by 10. Providence 16 points off of turnovers. Number 14 Mississippi State blows a 14-point lead in the last 9 minutes, but still comes back to beat South Carolina by 5. Went to overtime, but they saved themselves. Number 8 Michigan State beats Rutgers 81-74. Michigan State 17-2. Akron, man, they smoked Miami of Ohio 102-75. Both of them are 14-5 now. 11-6 Cornell beat 14-5 Princeton 85-76. Williams for Cornell hit 28 points in that game. 6-11 Penn beat 11-6 Columbia 93-78. Penn's Sam Brown 8 3-pointers. He had 30 total points in that game. 11-9 LaSalle beat 14-6 Rhode Island 70-64. Bradley, they keep cruising. They're 18-3 now. Beat Illinois State by 4. That was actually a 2-point game at halftime. A lot of the games yesterday were 2-point games at halftime. It was crazy. Number 3 Iowa State beat Arizona State 76-61. Iowa State closed the game with a 19-3 run. Man, that's pretty impressive. It took overtime to do it, but North Carolina beat Boston College 102-96. Boston College did hit 14 3-pointers, though, in that game. 14-6 Texas came back from 22 down to beat number 13 Texas A&M by 1. Vanderbilt. What can we say about Vanderbilt this year? Football and basketball. I can't wait to see what basketball or baseball does. 16-4 now. They are 2-1 against top 10 teams. They beat number 9 Kentucky yesterday, 74-69. Stormed the floor again, so they got a $250,000 one for doing it last week or the week before. Wouldn't be surprised if the SEC upset, maybe even doubles it, $500,000. We'll see what happens. 16-6 Cleveland State won their 12th game in a row, beat Green Bay 81-66. On the other hand, Green Bay, that's their 17th straight loss. 9-12 Southern Illinois beat 13-7 Illinois Chicago by 4. Dibba for Southern Illinois, 26 points, including the game-winning free throw. Number 5 Florida beats Georgia by 30. Woo, for the 12th straight time. Bulldogs, I was trying to figure them out. They look like they're going to have a different year. It looked like because they beat number 6 Kentucky, beat number 17 Oklahoma in the same week. Since then, lost the last 4 against number 6 Tennessee, number 1 Auburn, and now number 5 Florida. So, I thought maybe this might be a different Georgia team. Remember how we always said November, December, they play lights out. They get to January, conference play, they start falling off. But then they beat Oklahoma and Kentucky in the same week. Kind of gave some of us hope. Hey, is this going to be a different Bulldogs team? I don't know. The end of January is coming up. They're really going to have to turn it on if they want to change people's minds about them. Utah State is cruising, 18-2 now. Beat Air Force, 87-58. Number 11-9, Minnesota beat number 15 Oregon, 77-69. Minnesota 14 points off of turnovers, and Garcia scored 31 points, had 6 rebounds. Drake, they are 18-2, but it took overtime to beat 7-14 Missouri State. They ended up winning by 7. 9-10 UTSA beat 12-8 Temple, 88-79. UTSA 14 3-pointers in that game. Number 2 Duke beat 15-5 Wake Forest, 63-56. Duke's flag 24 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. 16-6 North Dakota State beat their rival North Dakota by 5. A lot of rival games up north yesterday. Number 22 Missouri beat number 16 Ole Miss 83-75. Rebels 3 losses in a row. 14-8 South Dakota State beat their rival South Dakota 90-71. 16-6 Oregon State beat 14-8 Santa Clara 83-69. Oregon State's Rataj, I think that's how you say his name, 30.6 rebounds. Hell of a game for him. Kansas State, man, they get a much-needed win yesterday. Beat number 23 West Virginia by 13. That ends Kansas State's 6-game losing skid. La Tech, they're 15-6 now. Beat 14-6 Middle Tennessee by 6. La Tech, 22 for 28 from the free throw line. Great game. This was a great game. I watched this one. Number 7 Houston beats number 12 Kansas in Lawrence, 92-86. Cougars Roberts, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Wilson, off the bench, 18 points, 6 rebounds. And Uzan, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Kansas led by Badunga, 19 points, 7 rebounds. Dickinson behind him, 17 points, 8 rebounds. Behind him, Griffin, 17 points, 7 rebounds. And he hit 5 3-pointers. He came off the bench to do that. Houston, 48% from the field. They hit 8 3-pointers. They were 14 for 25 from the free throw line. 17 points off of turnovers. One of those came at the last few seconds of the first OT. I don't know if you saw it. KU threw the ball in. U of H intercepted it. Hit the 3-pointer right before was it at the buzzer or right before the buzzer? To force a second overtime. Pretty incredible there. Kansas, 46% from the field. 9 3-pointers. They shot 17 for 30 from the free throw line. Really good game. It really was. 16-5 Charleston beat 14-7 Alien, 76-62. Charleston, 22 points off of turnovers. Not a good West Coast trip for Florida State. Lose to Cal, and now they lose to Stanford, 78-71. ACC might be rethinking this whole add some teams from out there, but we'll see. Especially if those West Coast teams keep the East Coast teams from getting into some kind of playoff situation, then the ACC might rethink all that. I don't know. We'll see. 18-3 St. Mary's beat 15-7 Washington State by 5. St. Mary's was down at the half. They came back in the second half, went on a 9-0 run to help them win that. 13-8 Xavier beat number 19 UConn by 4. UConn 4-3 this month of January. Wow. Number 4 Alabama beat 12-7 LSU 80-73. Alabama's Mark Sears didn't play in the second half. Played 18 minutes total in the game. 0 points. Another good one I watched. Number 1 Auburn beat number 6 Tennessee 53-51. Auburn's Broom, 16 points, 13 rebounds. Kelly with the go-ahead 3-pointer with 30 seconds left. Ziegler for Tennessee, he was the leading scorer, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Lanier behind him, 10 points. Low shooting. Auburn was 31% from the field. Tennessee was 32% from the field. Overall, great game. Classic Saturday night SEC battle. 15-4 Oklahoma beat 12-8 Arkansas by 3. Montana 13-8. They beat their rival Montana State by 7. UC Irvine 18-3. They beat 12-8 Hawaii 71-55. 17-4 UC San Diego beat 13-7 Cal State Northridge 79-54. UC San Diego's Tate Jones 32 points. Nice. And 13-6 BYU beat 12-7 Cincinnati 80-52. BYU shot 57% from the field and hit 15 3-pointers in that one. All right, so coming up here today and the next couple of days, got some good ones for Sunday basketball. Fixing to start here in a little bit. 11 a.m. CBS. 15-5 Maryland versus 14-6 Indiana. 12 o'clock Big Ten Network. 12-7 Nebraska versus number 15 Wisconsin. 12 o'clock ESPN2. 12-7 UAB versus number 24 Memphis. 2 p.m. Big Ten Network. 12-7 Northwestern versus number 17 Illinois. That's always been a rival. Tomorrow night, Monday, 5:30 Big Ten Network. 13-7 Penn State versus number 21 Michigan. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. 15-5 McNeese versus 14-7 Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Good Southland battle there. 7 p.m. on FS1. 13-7 Iowa versus 11-8 Ohio State. Ohio State just can't get it together, it seems like, in basketball this year. But they won the national championship in football, so they may not care this year. 9 p.m. Fox Sports 1, 14-6 UCLA versus 12-7 USC. Classic crosstown battle there. 9:30 ESPN, number 3 Iowa State versus 13-6 Arizona. Lots of other games too. These are just the ones that stick out. Tuesday, 5:30 FS1, number 20 St. John's versus 13-7 Georgetown. 6 p.m. on ESPN. Going to be a good one. Number 9 Kentucky versus number 6 Tennessee. That should be a pretty damn good game. 6 p.m. ACC Network. Another one that could be pretty good. 15-5 Wake Forest versus number 25 Louisville. 6 p.m. on ESPN2, Toledo versus Ohio. Both of them 11-8, fighting and scratching in the MAC. 7 p.m. Peacock, 11-9 Minnesota versus number 8 Michigan State. Minnesota coming off that win against Oregon. Now they're going to go to East Lansing and play Michigan State. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, 13-6 Central Florida versus number 12 Kansas. Kansas just lost Saturday. Heartbreaker to Houston. Central Florida's playing good ball. Can another team go in there to Lawrence and win a game? Second game in a row. We'll find out. 7 p.m. CBS Sports Network, 16-4 VCU versus 12-8 St. Louis. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus, 14-6 Dayton versus 15-6 St. Bonaventure. 8 p.m. SEC Network, 15-4 Oklahoma goes to number 14 or number 13 Texas A&M. When they vote tomorrow, they might be 14 after losing to Texas. 8 p.m. ESPN2, Baylor versus BYU. Both of them are 13-6. 8 p.m. ESPN, 13-8 North Carolina versus 13-6 Pitt. 9 p.m. CBS Sports Network, 12-7 Cincinnati versus 11-8 Utah. 10 p.m. on ESPN2, 16-6 Oregon State versus 15-6 Gonzaga. Moving over to Wednesday, 5 p.m. CBS Sports Network, 17-4 Samford versus 16-5 Furman. 5:30 on ESPN Plus, 14-8 Radford versus 15-6 UNC Asheville. 6 p.m. SEC Network, number 1 Auburn goes to 12-7 LSU. This one's interesting here. 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. You got number 7 Houston, who's on a high from coming out of Lawrence with a win last night. But they're going to number 23 West Virginia, who lost to Kansas State and is pissed off. So this could be an interesting one to see what happens here. 6 p.m. Big Ten Network. Number 18 Wisconsin going to Maryland, who's 15-5. That could be a good one. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. 12-7 Loyola Chicago versus 15-5 Georgia Mason. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. 12-9 East Tennessee State versus 13-8 North Carolina Greensboro. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus. 13-7 Illinois Chicago versus 18-3 Bradley. 7 p.m. FS1. 13-8 Xavier versus 14-6 Creighton. 8 p.m. SEC Network. Going to be another good one. Number 4 Alabama goes to Starkville to play number 14 Mississippi State. 8 p.m. on ESPN2. Probably going to be another good one. 14-6 Texas versus number 16 Ole Miss. Texas coming off that win against the Aggies, looking better. Ole Miss has lost their 3rd game in a row. Surely they will not lose a 4th one at home. We'll see. 8 p.m. on Big Ten Network, 10-10 Rutgers versus 12-7 Northwestern. 8 p.m. ESPNU, 18-3 St. Mary's versus 14-8 Santa Clara. 9 p.m. CBS Sports Network, 11-9 Nevada versus 13-7 Boise State. And 9 p.m. FS1, 11-9 UNLV versus 18-2 Utah State. That is it. We'll be back on Thursday to review some of the crazy stuff that's probably going to be happening the next few days and to preview the upcoming weekend. Few more hours left in the weekend to enjoy and then back to work on Monday. I know we all hate it. It sucks. But hey, keep busy. Days will go by fast. And before you know it, the weekend will be here again. Until Thursday, stay safe and we'll see you.